Good day and thanks for joining us. I'm Antika Rasava reporting from Athens, the Greek capital, where pundits and politicians have been keeping a close watch of elections results pouring out of Germany. Angela Merkel has scored a stunning third-term election victory with her Christian Democrats mopping up about 42% of the vote. Now that's a huge chunk, but it's short of an absolute majority. That means that she will be looking to coalition partners in the next couple of days, and she'll probably, we understand, be turning to her social democratic foes, political foes, trying to bring them together into what is being called a grand coalition. Now, joining us here today, trying to decode these election results and what they mean for Greece, is Alec Mally, a senior economist and former economics officer at the U.S. Embassy. Thanks for joining us, Alec. Try and tell us what this all means for Greece. Obviously, Greeks here were anticipating an election victory by Angela Merkel, but a resounding result of this scope and size. What does that actually mean for Greece and its austerity program?
Good morning, Anthi. It's interesting because, in fact, if you watched last night the way the Greek media decoded or tried to decode the election results, the focus was almost single-mindedly on what's in it for us. Where's the cash flow? Where's the debt relief? That kind of thing. The first point that one has to conclude is it's way too early to really be able to understand much until you see what shape coalition emerges. There are cases in Germany where it's taken up to 60 days to get these coalition governments together, so we can't really expect that we're going to have news before, November or something in terms of really focused policy and any kind of, changes in current direction. So what's in it for Greece immediately? Probably nothing. A long period of agonizing sort of study, watching this, and maybe back again doing this in a month because we may not have an answer yet.
But we heard Angela Merkel even as recently as just a couple of weeks ago during her campaigning say that perhaps it was wrong to allow Greece to enter the Eurozone. We even heard close aides of her coming out that and saying that she was even considering ditching and pushing Greece out of the Eurozone just last year in the height of this Eurozone crisis. So many here are truly concerned that this may bode not well for Greece, and that Greece may be looking at a tougher stance from Germany as far as its austerity program.
It's a little hard for me to actually buy into that particular approach. However, one cannot say that there are not people in Germany that didn't read the polls in Greece, which said that average Greek that was in the poll indicated a preference for Merkel's opponent. So, I mean, that was just sort of the sense of what people on the ground here have. That being understood, it seems to me that from last August, the Merkel government's been strongly in support of the Samaras administration, looking at it as the only group in Greece capable of pulling the country forward.
So do you think that when Mr. Samaras, who's actually scrambling right now to get a new debt relief program on the table, to get a third package, do you think Germany, Europe's leading paymaster, will be willing to sit down and give that to Mr. Samaras?
Well, the question is, what is that? There's definitely going to be a third package. Will it include debt relief? And then we have to define that in a second, is another question. Probably it will include the easiest forms of what we call, OSI, official side involvement. So something which makes the debt burden for Greece easier to manage is definitely going to be in that mix. The question is it what in Greece is called a haircut, an actual reduction in the principal of the debt? I think that's not in the cards. I think that was absolutely clear. Finance Minister Schäuble has made that abundantly clear that it's not even open for discussion, and I think that they're now in a position to keep that off the table. But it doesn't mean that refinancing Greece's debt, rolling it over indefinitely.
Would it spell additional austerity, though, for the Greeks? Would it come with these strings attached, tougher terms?
It certainly would. There will be terms attached. It doesn't mean that they're additional or tougher. It may mean that the reform program actually gets to the specified targets, and which may take longer because the reforms have been so delayed. So I don't think that's a particular problem. But this idea of sort of stretching out the debt repayment period as opposed to actually giving someone a principal cut is not so unusual, and it's not historically a problem. The United Kingdom finished in 2006 paying off its World War II debts to the United States under favorable terms, so it's doable.
Let's cast ahead also on this week. Debt inspectors are they're poring over financial data here. They're not satisfied with what's happening. What's really going wrong, and how can the government at the same time be claiming this success story? Where's the truth here?
Okay, well, again, unless you're sitting in the economic ministries, you don't have the real data, and even there, it's questionable whether they're getting the real data when they need it, and it's questionable whether the data the Troika sees at any given time is as good as it can be. What is clear is that the recession is hitting somewhere near the bottom, and that we will see some kind of an upturn by the end of next year, but it could be the very end, could be the middle, no one really knows. That's happening, and you do see an increased interest on the part of some foreign investors in looking at the Greek market, probably because they have, after 2 or 3 years of sort of this look-see, and we do meet them coming in and they look and see. They're very active, but I think they've concluded that prices are dropping to about the bottom point, and it's time to make the moves. And they've got a government they can work with. So whether the turnaround in foreign investment, which is a small amount at the beginning, is going to be enough to get things moving in any way that can be seen on the street is another question. And if it's not seen on the streets, there are political consequences.
Thanks for joining us, Alec. Well, that's it for today. Join us here again tomorrow.